Peace, Joseph. Peace, peace. Your girl D.A. Wise here. First, just want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for trusting me to support you on this spiritual journey and to give you some insight into what your higher self, your spirit, is really asking of you at this time. I know you want to know if you are living in your purpose and you want to know more about your money and your career. And I got an interesting thing to tell you today about that for you. The first thing that I want to start off by saying, Joseph, is that you are meant to help people overcome life's challenges. What I see here in these cards is that you've been through a lot. You've had many challenges, you've had many experiences, you've had you've had some heartbreak in the human realm, and you've been able to overcome them all. You've been able to rise up, rise above. And a part of your calling and a part of your purpose is being able to give that back to others, being able to share the wisdom that you have with others. But there's work that you have to do to be able to do that. So the first card that came out for you, Joseph, was the Tower card. Okay. And most of the time, people think that this card is like the end all be all, is just terrible. But what I'm feeling for you is you've already had a lot of these moments. You've already been pushed out of the building. Things have already come burning down for you. You've already had a lot of trials and tribulations in your life, and you've always been able to get up and keep going and keep moving. So this card coming out, as I asked Spirit the question, what is Joseph calling? I intuitively feel that your calling is helping people to bounce back when they fell on their ass, helping people to bounce back when they have experienced heartbreak, when they've experienced grief. Another card that came out for you is grief. You have to know, Joseph, that there is power in those moments of grief, that there is power in that sadness, that anytime that you've lost anything in your past, that was an opportunity for you to grow, right? An opportunity for you to stretch yourself and for you to become a different man, for you to become a better man. And so a part of your spiritual work right now is going to be able to extract the wisdom and the understanding that you've gained through your challenges in life. Right? I really want you to ask yourself this question: what have I learned from my past heartbreak? I want you to ask yourself, what have I learned from my past failures? What have I learned from my past challenges? You need to ask yourself those questions, because those questions are going to help you in living in your purpose. Your purpose is about using your life experience and sharing that wisdom with others. Okay? It may happen through conversation. It may happen just through teaching the lesson. It may happen by you telling your story. But at the end of the day, a part of your purpose is helping people to rise up when they feel like they've lost everything. Helping people to understand and be able to see the darkness in the light when they are just consumed with human challenges. Your purpose, your calling is to help people to work through their grieving. I know you've lost someone in your life that was near and dear to you. You've lost someone that you love deeply, but some way, somehow you were able to come out. You were able to find the light in that dark tunnel. A part of your calling and a part of your purpose is being able to do that. Now, here's what you have to understand. This doesn't mean that you necessarily create a business helping people to recognize their light in the darkness. But what you do is, in your everyday life, you discipline yourself to share love, to share wisdom, and to share your understanding, to share your story. You don't hold your story in out of fear that people won't understand it. You don't hold your story in out of fear that, I don't want to just be talking and be the old wise guy, right? No, understand that it is okay to be the wise man. Understand that it is okay to be the OG, okay? And what you have to do is you have to embrace that role. You have to embrace that role. And anytime you find yourself sharing love, sharing wisdom, sharing understanding based off of the challenges that you face. Anytime you find yourself in a situation where you are helping someone, specifically young men, okay? Specifically young men, Joseph, I see you having conversations with young men. I don't know where, maybe it's like at a Boys and Girls Club, or maybe you're going into schools. Maybe you have nephews or sons around you. Maybe it's just on the block, right? Maybe it's just in your neighborhood. Maybe it's in the area that you grew up in. But I specifically just see you sharing your wisdom, sharing your love, and it being so well reciprocated and it being so well received. So one thing that I want you to do, I want you to research your human design. Okay, human design. All you have to do is get on Google, type in human design chart. And when you open it up, you're going to put your name, you're going to put your birthday, you're going to put your time of birth, and you're going to put your location of birth. And when you see that, when you open that up, you will see what you are, what your human design is, whether you are a projector, a generator, a manifester, reflector. You're going to see which one of those things that you are. But what I'm just hearing from Spirit is that you are meant to project out to people that it is possible to heal, that it is possible to transform, and that you don't have to stay down. You don't have to stay down. You don't have to stay low. You can overcome. You can become better. That is a part of your calling. And the more you do that, the more you embrace that, the more you love, being the wise man, right? But the more you love helping to set people free, the more you do that, the more abundance you're actually going to attract. We really attract more abundance when we're walking in our divine purpose. We attract more abundance when we're doing the thing that we've been called to do. And what I'm seeing right now here, we also got the devil card that came out for you. You are meant to help people break free from these chains. You are meant to unlock people's minds, unlock people's hearts. You are meant to help people to see and understand that they are more than just the physical, that they are more than just their human experience. You are meant to help people to see that they can overcome their challenges, that they don't have to be slaves to humanity. That is what you are meant to do, okay? You are meant to support people in creating balance between their spiritual and their physical worlds. So a part of your lesson, Joseph, is being able to speak the truth, right? This card also came out for you, truth. This card is also a scale. So that's how you could also look at the devil card as a scale too, right? Like this is the middle of the scale. This is one side. This is one side, right? So we got the scale. And that's what I'm talking about. You have to help people to create balance. But in order for you to do that though, Joseph, you have to do this work for yourself first. Okay? Before you can actually walk fully in your calling and fully in your purpose, you have to do this work for yourself first. So you have to ask yourself, am I being too connected to the human realm? Or am I being too far into the spiritual realm? You have to ask yourself, am I balanced? You have to ask yourself, am I balanced? Am I living in alignment? Is my spiritual world and my human world, are they in alignment, right? Is there a flow? Is there a divine essence that is taking place between my human world and my physical and my spiritual world? So you have to create that balance between yourself. You have to know that it's okay for you to have the feelings and the emotions that you have, but a part of your growth, a part of your power, Joseph, is that you are able to sit with those feelings, sit with those emotions, sit with the loss, sit with the grief, sit with the sadness, sit with those things. Ask your higher self, what is the lesson? What is the blessing? How do you use this information? And then actually apply it. And then as you apply it, as you learn from it, right? As you apply it, as you learn from it, you turn around and you give it back to others. I think something for you, Joseph, that is so important is forgiveness. Okay? Something that is so important for you is forgiveness. You may feel like the people around you, maybe it was a mother, a father, or an old relationship. You may feel like those people around you caused you to have this tower moment. You may be blaming, right? You may be blaming your old relationships for why things in your life and things in your world had come crashing down. And Spirit is like, no, Joseph, it's nobody's fault. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. This was a part of the divine plan. And so you have to see those moments of grief, those moments of sadness, those moments where maybe you've even been depressed, right? You have to see those as your spiritual lessons. But the first thing that I need you to understand is that you are going to have to admit those emotions, admit those feelings, admit those experiences. Okay? You can't just be walking around as just the strong Black man and feeling like you can't have feelings, you can't have emotions, you can't, you just gotta stay strong. Okay? No, you cannot heal what you refuse to feel, Joseph. You cannot heal what you refuse to feel. And that's a major lesson for you. So feel the lowest lows so that you can feel the highest highs. Okay? You got to allow yourself to feel the lowest lows so that you can feel the highest highs. And that's not me telling you to ever stay in a low state. No, sit with it for a moment, process the emotions, however you need to process them, and then rise above it. What I am telling you is to not suppress how you felt. Not to suppress the heartbreak, not to suppress the disappointment, not to suppress the anger, because when you do that, you can't live in your truth. Okay? When you do that, you can't live in your truth. And then again, we got the scales here. So when you do that, you're out of balance. Your heart is not as light as a feather. And your heart has to be as light as a feather for you to truly be living and manifesting in your purpose. Okay, you got divine sacred work that you're supposed to do. Here we got the 7 of Wands, right? So you got to just get into your chakra work. You got to open up that heart again, brother. You got to just really get into that heart chakra work so that you can do the divine work that is of your purpose. All right. We got the 7 of Wands here. The seven, obviously, we already know chakras. Anytime you see 7, know that we're talking about the chakras, know that we're talking about the emotions. But when we got the wands, we're talking about your internal fire. We're talking about your discipline. We're talking about your purpose. We're talking about your power. And so in order for you to dwell in your power, in order for you to actually manifest more and create more in your life, you got to do the heart chakra work so that your purpose is not clouded with disappointment and a lack of forgiveness. Okay? Because you are meant to show up very powerfully, Joseph. You are meant to support people in such a powerful and sacred way. Like, really think about that. Really think about the love that you've been able to show to others. Really think about the heartbreak that you've observed from people. Really think about the other men that are around you who instead of dealing with their emotions, they've just pushed them down, or they smoked them away, or they've drank them away, or they've sexed them away. Right? You've been that person too, where you would turn to a vice like gambling or something like that. You know what I mean? Instead of actually dealing with the emotions. So a part of your purpose is to transform. Here's another card that came out. Transformation. Again, we see the color green, heart chakra, and then we see some butterfly wings behind her. It's time for you to rise up and actually be that 13. It's time for you to, and then we also come back to the devil card. We also come back to the devil card. It is time for you to set yourself free and to not be so tied down to certain human emotions. That's the way that you actually, tap into your calling. A part of your calling is that you are meant to help other people transform and not be so burdened or chained down to some of their human experiences. And you've already done a lot of work, Joseph. You've done a lot of work, but there's more to be done. You got to work through your grieving. You got to work through the disappointment and the heartbreak that you've had from others. And you have to forgive them. One of the ways that you can work through forgiveness, I'm going to give you a few ways to do it. One way is just through journaling, right? You can write down on a sheet of paper Let me see. Let me see. I can show you. I got a sheet of paper right here. I'm going to show you what to do real quick. Show you on a piece of paper. And I want you to do this because it's going to help you to learn and understand that everything is always working out in your favor. Okay. Put a person. I'm about to show you. Let me write it down. Name what they taught you, what you taught them. See, forgiveness is just all about, Joseph, being able to recognize the blessing in any situation. Okay. And when you can't realize or recognize how something actually serves you, it's hard to forgive, it's hard to let go, it's hard to make peace with the situation. So I want you to do this for yourself. All right. This is a forgiveness ritual that you can do. I want you to put in the middle of your paper. Well, I want you to make 3 lines on your paper, or 2 lines on your paper, 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. And in the middle of your paper, I want you to put a person's name, someone who you know you need to forgive. It can be mother, father, ex. It could be a teenage kid of yours. It could be yourself, right? But I want you to put a person's name, everybody's name that you know you need to forgive, in the middle of the paper. And then on one side of the paper, you're going to put what I taught them. Or no, on one side of the paper, you're going to put what I taught them. What I taught them. Right here it says what you taught them. And then on the other side of the paper, you're going to put what they taught you. What they taught you. And then I want you to meditate on each person. I want you to meditate on each person. You're going to ask the question, what did I teach them? And when you get that answer, you're going to write it down on the side that says what I taught them. And then you're going to ask the question, what did they teach me? Then when you get that answer, you're going to write it down on the side where it says, what did they teach you? And then after you do, and take your time with this. This is not something that you have to rush. Take your time with it. Take it easy, right? Don't rush the process. It may take you a month to get all of that information out. It may take a week to get all of that information out. No matter how long it takes, Joseph, though, take your time with it. Take your time with it. Embrace the journey. Embrace discovering the lessons out of your human experiences. That way you actually transform. And so when you look back on the paper, you're going to say, wow, this person taught me what it really means to love. This person taught me, how to manage my money better. This person taught me that I'm a divine spiritual being. So, or I taught them that they are a divine sacred being. I taught them how powerful they are. No matter what it is, I want you to write it down. I want you to sit with it. And I want you to have gratitude for what you discover, because it's so very important that you do this work. It's so very important that you allow yourself to be transformed so that you can stand in your purpose. I know you've had some challenges. I know you felt like your whole world has just come, crumbling down in the past. I know you've dealt with some grief and some heartbreak, but it was all in divine alignment. And so you have to ask yourself, you have to ask your higher self to show you how it was in divine alignment and to show you how to use it. I'm telling you right now that those experiences we're teaching you major lessons that you are to go forward and share with others. And here's the divine part about it. As you share it, you're giving people free game. You're giving people game. And as you give to others, this is the Page of Pentacles. You see, he's holding a coin. A coin is the earth element. It symbolizes money. It symbolizes things being taken care of on the earth realm. And so as you give to others, as you share your wisdom with others, as you share your love with others, best believe you're going to be getting that back in return. You're going to get it back in return in the form of money, in the form of finances, right? In the form of abundance, in the form of growth, in whatever way you best see fit. Okay? In whatever way you best see fit. But you got to give something to receive something. And so right now, your higher self is just asking you to give your wisdom, give your insight, give your heart, give the lessons that you've learned. right? Don't let the tower moments that you've had just be something that you keep within yourself. No, there are many people that can learn from your tower moments. There are many people that can learn from the grief that you felt. There are many people that can learn from how you've overcome your own low vibrational nature. Okay? You've already set yourself free in so many ways. And there are many people who need to learn from that. There are many people who need to receive from that. There are many people who are looking for you, Joseph, but you've been dimming your light because you're like, do people really want to hear from me? Are people really going to learn and grow from me? And the answer is yes. If you've been thinking about starting a blog or a YouTube page or anything like that, do it. If you've been thinking about going and speaking at a boys club or at a boys group or at a school or things like that, do it. There is something that you are meant to give back to others. People need to know how you have been able to heal your heart and rise above. People need to be able to know that. People need to be able to experience that and grow from that. Okay. That's all I've been doing. All I've been doing, Joseph, is sharing the lessons and the blessings that I receive. You know, sometimes those lessons have been hard. Sometimes they've been challenging. Sometimes they've been painful, but it doesn't make them any less powerful. In fact, the more, the more challenging ones, the more powerful the lesson and the more the information is actually able to help others. So I want you to do that. And then lastly, Joseph, if you are not a part of our Patreon, I want to invite you to join that as well, because in Patreon, we meet every Wednesday and every Saturday. And so you'll have the opportunity to share with us. If you've been kind of apprehensive on sharing your story and sharing how you've been able to overcome and transform, our Patreon will be a great place for you to speak your truth. Our Patreon will be a great place for you to be able to get comfortable with sharing your spiritual lessons. So as you share with us and you get more comfortable with expressing how you've overcome and how you've learned, then when you go out into the real world, when you go out into your everyday life, it'll be easier because you would have been practicing with us in Patreon. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to get on this forgiveness. I want you to get on this forgiveness work. And then I want you to just choose to be your best every day. Choose to be your best every day. Choose that you're going to let your divine light shine. All right. Join us on Patreon. I will drop the link in the chat with this video in the email. And I want you to let me know how this resonates for you. All right. Peace and love.